Alright guys and gals, welcome to Game 5 of the Tiny Wars Open Tournaments. I am Advanced Warrior.
And I'm CJ.
And we have a mirror match for you guys in our Round 1 Game 5. BleakHorizon on the top playing as Will versus CommanderLuciel on the bottom also playing as Will. We shall see who will prevail. Will, plus 2 CO zone. Biggest boost gives plus 30% attack to all of his ground direct units, which is not too terrible considering how open the map is. You could still use indirects on almost any map, but the more chokier the map is, the more easier it is to cover. So if you ignore indirects, you could maybe use those other units that would try to protect your indirects to attack with. And that's what Will likes to do. Attack directly in your face with plus 30% attack. And I can't remember if I mentioned the CO zone of 2, which is actually a pretty good zone.
Yep, pretty decent, pretty generally standard. But yeah, it works pretty well. Helps you charge your CO zone relatively effectively, which allows you to use your CO power, which is that global, was it 30 attack?
Plus 30 attack, yes.
And plus 10 defense. But also the main thing is you get plus 2 mobility, plus 2 move on those ground direct units. So, he definitely, is quite good on a map like this.
Unfortunately, no boost for his direct air units, which would predominantly be battlecopters. But on this map, there's some parts where the battlecopters I feel are only okay. So I don't feel like Will is gonna need to compensate for the lack of his air unit attacks. Anti-airs can do fairly well against the air units, although building a battlecopter does help with the unit counts. But yeah, the CO zone, it doesn't heavily discriminate. It still gives all the units plus 10% attack and defense. So Will isn't a strictly ground direct units only. Like, most of the COs don't have any weaknesses in Days of Ruin / Tiny Wars, so you can build any unit you wish, but it's just that some of your units are going to get something that they enjoy more than the other units. But yeah,
and you'll see a lot of high level players, tend to use a mix of units. It really depends though. Some units will be better, like tanks will be pretty good here. But the RD out for CommanderLuciel is also pretty good. As long as you have it placed in the right areas. But yeah, we're seeing BleakHorizon be a little bit more tank focused, while CommanderLuciel has that RD to probably at some point slow down any pushes, lock down positions. So.
Is it just me, or are we seeing a lot more CO unit confrontation on the bottom left of most of Round 1? Is it just me?
I think you are correct in that observation.
Not all of them, but most of them.
Yes, and I think the reason for that is probably because... actually, okay, I don't have any reason for that.
It's interesting to see that both sides are like opting to send their CO units towards each other, or it could be player 1 or player 2 that's possibly conducting the direction of the fight, like who gets a CO zone first, and then they like bring it down there. Okay, just being a bit honest here, I used to think that the strong side for the top was the right and the strong side for the bottom was the left, but as we could see that like some of the other bases can reinforce the other sides just fine, because like there are roads everywhere on the edges of the map, so it's not too difficult to reinforce. The most forward base, though, the ones that are above and below that heap of forest with those two mountains, like in the corner of the middle side, though, like some tanks are gonna have to take some time to go through those forests, but it's not a terrible space to reinforce. Like once you get past those forests, it's just an entirely open space. But honestly, still, I am a bit curious as to how the COs keep ending up meeting each other in such a way.
I think bringing your CO in the same side as your opponent is just a little bit easier to think about. Like, you don't have to worry about maybe pulling back on the side without the CO, because you don't want to give them free charge. So like in order to not worry so much about pulling back, you know, if you just bring your CO to contest, then just overall the game seems to be a little bit slower. People don't get their CO powers. You don't have that volatility of it's not as likely to for you to end up having to deal with like calculating the fact that your opponent can get plus 2 movement, that type of deal. So I think it's just generally easier to think about, and yeah, on this map, like, it's actually not super clear if there's really a strong and weak side. Most of the bases can generally reinforce at about the same speed. So at this point in time, it doesn't matter too much.
I am personally liking this transport copter that BleakHorizon has built. At first I was a bit skeptical. I was just like, a transport copter got mechs. It's like why? But then you see that all those mountain and river tiles, that mech can ignore all that terrain. So the transport copter is able to just like stop on that bridge, and that mech can be sent all the way down, probably down to the river. So it is slowly starting to make sense to me why BleakHorizon has decided to make their strong side the bottom, because it's a shorter distance compared to the top right, and because it's a shorter distance, you will very likely see mechs on the front line, which are fantastic cost-effective units. They're glass cannons, but if they attack a tank, that is just huge value, and especially if they get their attack boost from Will. And looks like we're seeing BleakHorizon going in for the throat right now. Only bikes in range of that artillery, so still has units to attack and hasn't really punched through yet, but we're getting some decent charge coming from BleakHorizon.
Yeah, that was quite a good move there.
It hasn't been like those suicide pushes that we've seen from some games here.
Yeah, and I mean, BleakHorizon is a quite experienced player, so I wouldn't expect to see something like that. It's kind of funny just looking at the top now, like, that whole area is only infantry and bikes, and then one battlecopter. It's just
the skeleton crew just trying to nab those properties. So it's kind of nice that we're seeing, like, forgive me for my lack of knowledge, but it almost feels like League of Legends in a way, where we have the one side is like going for one objective and the other side going for the other objective. It's like properties on the top right, damage on the bottom left.
Yeah, like you have your champions kind of duking it out over there, and then the top is just kind of the minions. Just the minions are just kind of chilling up there.
I'm just talking about the objectives that they could possibly win from each of the fronts, but I don't hate this. I don't hate this at all. I'm also loving the patience from both of these players. I believe patience is one of the best things to have in both real life and personally this game as well.
Yeah, it definitely goes a long way here.
For a second I thought For a second, I thought that battlecopter was going to be exposed to the anti-air, but this is fantastic walling coming from BleakHorizon. They move in with their units, and then they have the follow-up infantry to create those walls and not be punished so hard for moving in like that. So very good to see from BleakHorizon, and not to say anything against CommanderLuciel. CommanderLuciel is also showing great patience as well.
Yeah, CommanderLuciel is playing quite well, but like BleakHorizon is just taking those small advantages and pushing up on them, taking advantage of them, just widening that.
Excuse
that
my
gap.
pacing. Excuse my pacing. Real quickly, the funds. BleakHorizon did just capture that bottom property, so they were even funds until now. That was just something that we unfortunately cannot immediately see. But yeah, it was just something I wanted to check because I feel like income. Oh wait, is this gonna kill?
Oh, that's a kill.
Oh, that's a kill. I thought BleakHorizon was just gonna utilize the river for some blocking and like shifting up slightly because they have that one property in that corner that BleakHorizon just captured. But yeah, I was just saying that like CommanderLuciel, I believe this patience is coming from the small, like very, very minimal income deficit. Like it's not a huge deficit, so they're comfortable with just chilling back a little bit, but they would have to be the one to make the push. But as of right now, it looks like CommanderLuciel is the one being pushed back. Unfortunately, having their anti-air exposed to a tank, and that anti-air is gonna die if it tries to go for one of those copters, and it probably won't kill the copter.
No, not. BleakHorizon had a really strong push there, got the CO power, and it's ready. He is evening out a little bit, like that tank. Those tanks are kind of significantly weakened.
I don't see a single medium tank from BleakHorizon.
No, I think BleakHorizon has opted more for cheaper units like those mechs stuff, which will be coming in handy soon, maybe?
Teching up is good, but you lose some tempo. But as you can see, there are 3 medium tanks on the bottom side, unless a power could possibly put a dent in those medium tanks, but let's see what BleakHorizon does with this power.
There's a lot that he can do, and yeah, this is definitely, well, actually the turning point was probably a couple turns ago when BleakHorizon was able to get that kind of expand that advantage and get the charge for the CO power. But now we're seeing it in action, seeing how strong that +2 movement actually is. Those mechs
are nasty.
Kind of they kind of go really far. That's why these mechs are really strong. Yeah.
I like Will's mechs. I like Will's mechs.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that. Maybe mechs are good. I mean, mechs are good.
Maybe Will mechs are good.
Yeah, it's just on this map I wasn't expecting them to be as good as they are proving to be. But yeah, taking into account like what you said earlier about the bottom being a little bit closer for the player one, that is making a lot more sense as to why you would use those mechs, why you would get the T-copter and stuff. You don't want to do that too early in the game, but definitely at the timing that BleakHorizon used it, worked out a lot. So he's going to be able to get just like all of the top properties. There's a bunch of medium tanks down at the bottom. BleakHorizon could like choose to back up relatively comfortably if he wants to. But if he did retreat from the bottom, he might be giving up a lot of CO charge. So there's that you'd have to think about. But the top is very solid with hits.
Ooh. Oh, that was enough too. I almost said 10,000. I'm sorry. That 9,000. It's not 9,500. I'm sorry, because there's like 350 that went into that CO tank. But a will tank followed up by a mech was actually enough to kill that medium tank. So BleakHorizon is not entirely doomed to see 3 medium tanks while they just have a bunch of mechs. They still can do damage.
Yeah. You don't typically think that medium tanks are going to lose very easily to regular tanks, but in this game, medium tanks are cheaper and kind of significantly weaker than
They're like 12. They're 12,000. They're 12,000.
Yeah.
So, oh my god, another first strike on a medium tank, and it's gonna sacrifice that one. It does get in some damage. Is this going to kill?
Oh, that's gonna kill.
Oh,
yeah.
that is
100%
100% going to kill. Everything was thrown onto that medium tank.
Yeah, that's probably a situation where you do simulation to calculate if it's gonna work. Because, I mean, okay, even if that didn't work, like it would still probably be a decent way. Because there just isn't anything else there other than that medium tank.
Second CO zone lost for CommanderLuciel.
Yeah, BleakHorizon just kind of has this in the bag. He just needs to sweep everything else up. There's no real threats. There's nothing to stop all these caps, and so CommanderLuciel resigns there.
Rightfully so. So, that is no, I went back too far. So as we can see here, 10. Wow, it was that huge. 10 income.
Yeah, I mean, after that one CO power usage, like CommanderLuciel was pretty far behind.
Yeah, I understand. So, there's all these properties. It's not just BleakHorizon's gaining one. CommanderLuciel is also losing one as well. So it's like speeding up the difference between the two. All right, so personally, a fantastic match from both of these players. A great showcase of skill and awareness, like the patience that we saw in an earlier turn before the power. It was like around this turn. Yeah, look at this. Like we're not seeing CommanderLuciel like diving into this. Like they've got their own units. Like they've got medium tanks against mechs. They've got like more tanks. CommanderLuciel's got an artillery, so it was not a huge disparity, but we can kind of see BleakHorizon's decision making to making their strong side this bottom side, because it's like much shorter, while there is a base that CommanderLuciel can reinforce units with. Like you can see they're pumping out medium tanks to try to stop this side, and above this side was just infantry. But as we can see here, can we see it now? Will has a significantly higher energy charge, and they were getting it a lot quicker than CommanderLuciel, obviously. And since that power is global, they were able to take advantage of this top side as well, which looked like a stalemate for a little bit, but then they were able to punch in, and this tank was able to hit that anti-air and put CommanderLuciel in a bit of a deficit.
Yeah, I think probably BleakHorizon saw that these medium tanks were coming in, just like if I was looking at this board state, I would not immediately think to just attack there. But when you think about it longer, like you can see there's five tanks, 2, 3, and 1 medium. There is an arty there if you could get rid of it. You could also just try to hit only part of that force. So, this is the situation where, as BleakHorizon, I'm sure that he probably calculated this. He probably ran through a simulation to see, would this be feasible? And the answer was yes. What did he do exactly? I think this one he he moved in, but the only things that were in range of the Artie were just infantry, I think.
Just a minor thing I caught on here. Excuse me. Just a minor thing that I caught on. Yeah, at first glance, this doesn't look terrible, but this bike is unfortunately exposed on two of their sides, which is not something which is a weak point of a foot soldier or infantry wall. This river tile, this infantry is in range to go in that river tile, and infantry don't do as much damage as with bikes, but because of Will's power, these two infantry here were able to punch a hole that exposed CommanderLuciel's tank, which is once that was hit, BleakHorizon knew to move in for the kill. So yeah, as you can see, tank is exposed, and that tank just one-shots everything. And because of the damage, they're just able to punch through and expose that tank from both sides, leading BleakHorizon to be a lot more comfortable with such an attack, while gaining charge at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, BleakHorizon had gotten a lot of charge earlier on in the game, and so they just have that continuous threat, and so that's really what kind of costed CommanderLuciel there in the end. Yeah, because this turn, I guess losing the CO is huge. It is kind of big, but the biggest thing after that was just having the CO power activate with no real ability to stop it.
BleakHorizon was able to find a way to punch through on both of the infantry walls of CommanderLuciel, and in return had valuable kills. The CO tank on the bottom, and this anti-air that was threatening these copters. It's all part of the triangle. Tanks beat anti-air, anti-air beat copters, copters beat tanks. But with two copters and half of an anti-air, CommanderLuciel definitely would not want to stick around there.
CommanderLuciel didn't have any very clear blunders, but even still, they just weren't.
It was
matched.
Very minor things that costed CommanderLuciel their downfall. It was just infantry that weren't enough to protect the most important units in the back. But other than that, this was a fantastic game to watch, in my opinion. Alright, guys and gals, BleakHorizon moves on to round 2 in the Tiny Wars Open Tournament. Keep an eye out for more matches that we will have out. Thank you all so much for watching. I am Advanced Warrior.
I'm CJ.
And you all have our warmest regards.
Thanks for watching.
Please take care. You're moving the mouse. Dang it, Barsik.